Right, time to buckle down to business now and look at the politics of the week that has been. Of course, looking at the current state of the political lay of the land and how it's shaping up. Allow me to introduce our guests this morning who are with us to help us also just see what is happening on the ground. We do have with us this morning Dr. Shema Chodho, who is a global leader of Kenya Diaspora Alliance. Also joining us this morning is Alice Wahome. She is a member of parliament from Kandara. For Kandara. Yeah. She actually corrected me last week and I'm still on the same vein. We do have with us as well Okongo Magini, who is a member of parliament for, of course, the senator for Nyamira. We do have with us as well Samuel Pogisio, who is the senator for West Pokot. Good morning, gentlemen and lady.
Good morning.
Right, just looking at the front page of the Daily Nation, maybe this will be a good segue to our discussion this morning as far as ODM is concerned, smarting from the by-election. Is the writing on the wall, if we may ask you, Okongo Mogini, if we may just put the headline on the front page of the Daily Nation, please.
First, despite the fact that we lost to our competitors, I want to congratulate the winners of Friday's by-election. My good friend Mawade in Embakasi East and David Ochieng in Ugenya. Congratulations, and I think for Ugenya, really, the people of Ugenya have stood with a leader they believe in, one they think can steer development in that constituency, and democracy at its best. I mean, it's no longer about your party, it's about your ability as a candidate and how you convince the electorate with your ideas. So I think congratulations to them. But I think also for my party, ODM, indeed, it should be a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could have been unheard of in some years gone by to think of anybody other than an ODM candidate winning in Ugenya. And in Embakasi, our performance was dismal, really. Just 7,000 against 21,000 votes. I think should send some signals to our party that we need to put our house in order. So I really want to say, let's take it in stride. Let's learn from our mistakes. I think it's not a wise thing to kill the NASA coalition. We need to work as a team. The way, as they say, united you stand, divided you fall. I think we should maybe have listened to our brothers in Wiper and allowed them to field one candidate in Embakasi. I don't think it was necessary for us as a party, ODM party, not to listen to our coalition partner. Then in Ugenya we are paying for not putting in place proper nomination process, one that can, instill confidence in the candidates who want to run on ODM. Remember, David Ochieng in 2013 was elected on ODM party. But in 2017, he said, I stand no chance of winning ODM nomination in Ugenya. So he bolted and formed his own party, and you can see he has now clinched the seat. So I think for me, going forward, ODM as a party should do self-re-examination. We should see where we have gone wrong. We should look seriously. We seriously need to look at our nomination process. We look at the parties, the personalities that had our nomination panel. Secondly, we need to instill more democracy in the party. I think Ochieng's scenes were that he was bringing so many friends to introduce development projects in Ugenya, and that left a section of ODM very uncomfortable. I think let's give space to our leaders. Those who are members of parliament, senators, governors, let them be given space to fulfill their dreams. Those who want to bring development, let them do so. And we should remove this tag of saying these are sellouts amongst us. Let's give space to the elected leaders within ODM. And as a coalition, I think let's accept that we are members of one family. We should not play a big brother syndrome. We should accept that if we really want to increase our membership in Parliament and in Senate, we need to embrace our brothers from ANC, our brothers from Wiper, our brothers from Ford Kenya. And the sooner we we come together to build a stronger team for 2022, the better for us.
But is in this particular, of course, development showcasing what is really happening within ODM? Because some of these people who ran with other tickets right now, like David Ucheng, express frustration within ODM that there is no inter-party or inter-party democracy, right? If you've actually validly won, you were not given the ticket. The ticket is given to someone else. This just goes to show that there's something which is happening within ODM,
yes,
which is not very fair.
Dibal, when you asked me, I told you that this is it gives the party an opportunity to do self-re-examination. And I told you that Ocheng is a clear case of members of our party not having confidence in our elections board, the way we conduct our nomination. I told you that Ocheng was a member of ODM.
Yes, he was.
Elected on ODM ticket 2013. But in the run-up to 2017 election, he expressed misgivings that he may not be given a fair chance during the ODM nominations. That's why he bolted to run on MDG. So that's a wake-up call to our party that the process we have in place does not necessarily give democratic space to all our prospective candidates who want to win the ODM nomination. And that is a big indictment on our party, because what you need to do as a party, you need to attract strong, popular candidates, and then you give them free space to seek nomination, and then you pick the best candidate. But what we have seen in Ugenya is that people, our members, don't have confidence in our nomination process. And I think as a party, we need to retreat, to do self-examination and see where are we getting it wrong, where is the mistake. Then because if we need to attract strong candidates 2022, you must first assure your prospective candidates that they will be given a free hand in the nomination process.
Right, but the mistake is outrightly there. It's not a matter of self-evaluation. You know what is really happening within ODM. People who have actually won, the party ticket, or they deserve the nomination, are not given those nominations at all.
And by the way, Dibal, if you have been following this debate, this is not a problem that is unique to ODM.
No, for now let's cross. For now we're dealing with ODM.
Just a minute, Dibal.
No, I'm giving you time.
You need to be fair to me. This is not a problem with just within ODM. Remember, there is a time we were making proposal that party nominations.
For now, hold your horses. For now, we'll give you another time. Let's just also hear from Dr. Shemo Chodo on this, and Pogiswe, and also Halis Wawome, and then we'll circle back to you.
Debal, allow me to also add my voice to complimenting Honorable David Ucheng and Honorable Julius Mawathi for their success in the elections. I want to associate with the sentiments of Senior Counsel, Senator Okongo Mugeni. And I think he was fairly candid to his party. He kind of sums it up, that really, the big brother, the mentality, the grandstanding that we've seen in ODM over the years, time has come when it has to behave like other parties. I don't think many people in this country have suffered at the hands of ODM more than I have. Personally, in the year 2007, having won an ODM nomination, as we are celebrating in Homa Bay town, midnight it's announced the party headquarters has decided to disqualify and annul my election because of purported violence, which was not there in Homa Bay, at least at that time. But that's just one instance. There are many instances. So as one of those who broke ranks with ODM, having suffered heavily, indeed I'm looking for my sister Isha Juma to share some thoughts, because some will recall that even in 2001, I was perhaps the first member of parliament to be de-whipped when my party was subsumed into KANU, that was NDP at the time. So this is a classic message that's being sent. Maybe it's time for my good friend Jim Morengo and others to take a break. I think this is a wake-up call. They've been bragging a lot. It's like it bordered, really, it's like they owned the earth. Particularly Nyanza, it's like they owned it. I think this is a very strong message. And I must compliment the people of Ugenya for standing with their own I think Honorable Chieng had a pretty good record in terms of development. And I'm glad that he's also being magnanimous. Although some people are saying it's time he looks for Baba, I was saying, look, people still think of him looking for a teen god. But I'm glad that he's magnanimous. He's saying he has got no problem with anyone. He only has problems with the people of Ugenya, who he wants to help develop. So I think that magnanimity is welcome. The same way in Embakasi, really, there is no explanation other than being, again, overconfident that ODM thought they would just sweep everybody. There was no reason whatsoever why they needed to run against Wiper if they are genuine to their NASA agreement. So I wanted just to say, concur with Mheshimiwa Omugeni, that yes, it's a wake-up call, but it's also a beginning, in my view, of a realization that, look, no parties in this country are unassailable. Maybe it's an empire is just beginning to crumble. Mm-hmm. We wait to see. Lastly, I must make an appeal to my people of South Nyanza. I'm not sure the same would happen in South Nyanza. They should learn from the brothers and sisters in Siaya. That time has come when we must stand with what the people believe is right, not what somebody imposes on them. In fact, I must say that I'd expected the state machinery to be used to rig Ochieng out, because this happened when my former competitor but turned friend, Engineer Philip Okundi, was rigged out when he ran in a by-election Senate. Clearly he had won, but the state machinery and the police were used to put in Senator Kajwang. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that the state machinery perhaps either weren't used in this instance. And one thing that ODM should realize, that the margins were very wide, to the extent that I'm glad that the party has conceded defeat.
Okay, let's say from Bogisho. Good morning.
Thank you very much. And well, first of all, I can't say very much about ODM. I can mostly say congratulations to David Ochieng, and having been a member of parliament, I suspect that his record has spoken for itself. Mm-hmm. I also suspect that a lot of the ODM brigade also supported him because of whom they, as a person really, because they knew him as a person and his record on development. So I do want to congratulate him and the people of Ugenya for looking at leadership rather than just party and so on. I can't say anything about the strength or weakness of ODM because I am not privy to that. But I would like to congratulate Julius Mawathe. At least there I can say, you know, I've been associated with ODM Kenya and now Wiper in the past, so I understand that party quite well. I used to be their national chairman, and so I do want to congratulate him and wish him well. Obviously, really, Mawathe had an upper hand, because, I mean, having been the immediate former MP, and he had shown some good leadership over there. So I wanted to say this, political parties once in a while have to suffer this kind of thing. Even in the strongest of places, it happens. And so if this happens, it may be a reason that the handshake has come to bring some kind of malaise in the politics. In fact, we have mellowed down in our politics. If the handshake hadn't happened, probably there would have been more patriotic, quote-unquote patriotic, tribalistic type of things going on. But since the handshake, by the way, movements and activity, even in parliament, has mellowed down, even opposition, even voting has become, we've become like one. And so I'm glad that nothing out of this handshake has come to show rigging or anything like that. I'm glad at least, you know, there is a good witness here saying that there was no rigging, which is very good. It just means that the handshake brings us peace, but at the same time has removed all the politics that used to be in the past. And I hope that from now on, politics will be based on leadership qualities, party manifestos, party progressiveness, and so on. So I do believe that we must accept these things. We don't even know the heart of David Ochieng or somebody else. He may be having his own political party, and maybe eventually there will be a stronger a party coming out of there, or maybe ODM will be stronger. So we don't know about that. But let me just congratulate them and wish them success. By-elections, by the way, are like that also. By-elections are usually places where some parties decide to reserve their strength and so on, and not commit too much resources in it, because the by-election is just finishing up a term. So let me just not be speculative. Let me say we wish them well as leaders.
All right. Let's say from Alice Wahome. In fact, I wanted you also to comment on that editorial cartoon that we have on page 14, I think, of the People Daily. I'll try and put it up much later. But you can continue looking at this particular development. What is your reaction?
I think the headline of the Nation that you want us to reflect on is that the Raila party is paying for past sins and says leaders. I think that's what was coming out over the weekend.
Yes.
May I join my colleagues in congratulating Julius Mawathe, Embakasi South Member of Parliament elect, and then also David Ochieng, my colleague David Ochieng, for capturing this particular seat in Ugenya. I think the ODM party, and I'm glad that my brother here has actually made some very honest and candid conversations.
Yes.
I think they are paying for past and present sins in terms of going forward as a party. Past because the case for Ochieng, I served with him last parliament. He's definitely a very good and astute registrator. And I was following, we had held many discussions, even at tea breaks and things like that, of things that, he's doing, because members of parliament share experiences and exchange notes. He was doing very good things with his constituents. And therefore, but he was branded as Musariti, as a mole within the party for the entire last term as he served. And of course, when we asked him what is the way forward for him, he said that he's coming up with his party. I personally had a discussion like that with him. And I asked him, how will you survive? And why do you want to actually, go for a suicidal mission? He said, Alice, I don't have to be elected. If the people of Ugenya, with my record, do not return the seat to me as David Ochieng, then maybe I don't deserve to be there. If they will give me because of the party, and I know that the party is going to play a monkey business, I really am ready to suffer the consequences. And of course, it is actually said that he is likely to have been the winner even in the last elections. But somehow he may have been rigged. And I think then that case tells us that going forward, the Kenyans are also, the people of Ugenya need to be really congratulated, especially Ugenya. The statements that were made there, obviously, the ODM party must be feeling very bad about some of its leadership, because they gave this win to William Ruto by their own statement. He was not a candidate. He was not the owner of the candidates. Whichever way they found it, I mean, they made major blunders. Like Marara, I watched Marara saying, if you vote for this candidate, you vote for Raila. If you vote for this candidate, you vote for William Ruto. In Embakasi, there was no, comparison, because the voters gave 7,000 to, I think, the closest candidate, Sumra, and the other 21,000 to Mawathe. We all agonized. You see, Jubilee was a bit smart in this particular case, because they declined to field a candidate. But what about a partner of the, within NASA? ODM should not have, in the first place, had a candidate in Embakasi. But because of arrogance, because of impunity, because of disloyalty to NASA itself, the things they have done to each other, they have not preached building bridges or even a good partnership. And therefore, they are suffering for past, for me, and current sins. There was a lot of plea from Wiper that, look, guys, we are in NASA. Leave this seat to us. Of course, they did not. The Edwin Sifuna should suffer consequences for misleading the party. I don't know. He may not have made this decision alone. And I think it is not good to personalize. I believe a party like ODM, he was speaking for the party and the top leadership. But there are also people saying, I think, because even the polling station of James Orengo there was a loss, big loss by ODM. It was a statement. It was like a vote, a protest vote by the people of Ugenya against specifically Senator James Orengo. I don't know why, but they must be following what is happening in the party and nationally and seeing that maybe their party is being misled. Today, ODM doesn't know itself. They are talking about Jubilee, there is corruption in what, but they are disunited among themselves. They you know, somebody said, I don't want to say who, I'm sure it is on the public space, that they are landless and clueless. I think it is time for them to retreat and see what they are trying to do. You know, they are supposed to be actively putting this government. Kenya is in a very momentous moment of handshake. But you see, they have confused the handshake to mean becoming the government.
Thank you.
This candidate in Embakasi South, Dibala, was wearing a T-shirt himself with the Jubilee logo and ODM logo as he's campaigning. What do you understand about that? Internal party democracy, lack of discipline, and so they should suffer. Parties, of course, big parties, including KANU,
right,
have suffered. You know, even
let's say
PNU
from
have suffered
Congo
before.
right now before we take a short break.
But let me just congratulate. I'm sorry. Let me congratulate Anne Muvuria, the University of Nairobi student who captured the top leadership at the university. The first woman, she really deserves to be congratulated.
After how many years? 25 years?
Yeah.
Is it
I mean,
25?
the University of Nairobi for the longest.
Yeah.
But maybe you'll give us an opportunity later to comment on
Sure.
the loss of,
of
Namkula.
We will.
Yeah.
Let's hear briefly from Okongo Mogini.
Yeah, I think what I want to agree with is the sentiments by my good friend Alice Wahome, that the Ugenya win is a win for the DP, William Ruto. I don't think Jubilee had a candidate in Ugenya, and so this is not a victory for...
But looking at other dailies, they're saying that some of our party officials are blaming Jubilee for the fallout in Ugenya.
I mean, which fallout? I think what I've stated and want to repeat is that Ugenya is a classical case of a constituency that wants to stand with a leader who has proved himself. And I think, for me, the wake-up call is that we as a party, ODM, should support and embrace strong candidates and allow democracy to thrive within ODM as a party. David Ochieng did not win because he's associated with DP William Ruto. He won because he was given a chance 2013, 2017, and he proved himself. I think where we got it wrong is that as a party, we refused to embrace a candidate who had very good prospects of winning that seat for us as a party, and allowed side shows, these things of saying you are a sellout to snatch a very good candidate from us. That's why I'm making a point this morning that we as a party should strengthen our internal democracy as a party. But this thing of saying that ODM is ladderless, is clueless, I think that's not the way to go. What we need to do is, let's look at our election nomination board. Let's look at our nomination rules. Let's look at how we as a party can pick the best as our flag bearers in our constituencies, in our counties, for senatorial seats. We should not bring these side shows of saying this is a win for William Ruto. And you know, by-elections can be very, very deceiving. I remember in Siongerai ward, in Bomet.
Let him finish.
No. I think he should be considered, just for information.
No, let him finish. Let him
They are
finish.
the ones who said, I'm not saying it.
Okay, Alice, just let him finish.
Yeah, just as Senator Pogisha has said, you know, there are so many dynamics in by-elections. In Siongerai, I think the former governor for Bomet, Isaac Ruto, won a civic seat, and they thought he had won against William Ruto. It was played out like a superiority contest between Isaac Ruto and William Ruto. But when it came to the general election, it was a totally different thing. But what I'm telling you, Debal, internally as a party, I want to give you just one example.
Can you hold on to your thought? We take a short break, then we'll circle back with you.
Okay.
Right. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, of course, we continue with the intrigues of party politics. Right? Is there any inter-party democracy within ODM, or for that matter, even Jubilee as it is right now? Because it also, when we look at the other side of the pendulum where it's swinging within Jubilee Party, there is also a rift. And we want to also take a keener look on what is happening within Jubilee as well. So don't go away. When we come back, we continue with the conversation. Remember, you can drive the show with us. Hit us on Twitter, AMLive NTV. Twitter handle, AMLive NTV, your profile name on Facebook, and 20686, our SMS bottle. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're watching This Is a Point here on AMLive, where we continue with the conversation on party politics. And I'm holding court this morning with Alice Wahome, Member of Parliament for Kandara. Also, we have with us Okongo Omogeni, Senator for Nyamira. We do have with us Dr. Shemo Chodo, who's a global leader of Kenya Diaspora Alliance. And also, we do have with us as well, this is Senator Samuel Pogisio, the Senator for West Pokot. I think we had said that, yes, we take a short break, but we'll circle back with you. I hope you've not lost your train of thought.
Yes.
Yeah, but I just need also to show you what was on the front page of the Sunday Nation, just to give a feel to what I was telling you regarding some of the sentiments that, yes, Jubilee lawmakers take credit for Paul's loss, but Wiper and ODM tell them off. Ruto hand in Raila Party shock defeat. The surprise loss of 2 by-elections turns spotlight on Orange Party and its leader with the withdrawal of Deputy President and his allies emerging as some say the polls were a testing ground for 2022 winning strategy. This story continues on page 8 and 9 of the Sunday Nation. Also, I just wanted to show you the editorial cartoon there drawn by Stano in today's People Daily as well. He says, I guess that was a handshock. And you can see who got a handshock there. Okongo Omogeni. That is your party leader there.
Which cartoon is that?
This is the People Daily,
People Daily.
right? It is a handshock.
Yeah. So I think as I was saying, I mean, really the loss in Ugenya should not be overplayed. You remember the ODM party himself did announce that he would not participate in the by-elections in Ugenya because he believed both Ochieng and Karan were his friends, and he was comfortable with either winning. Then if you looked at the comments of Ochieng, and I think that's what Dr. Shemo Chodo began by saying, that he himself has said this should not be seen as a contest between him and Raila. And he said, as a person, he has got no problem with Raila Amolo Odinga. So why should we introduce 2022 politics at this stage? I want to tell my good friend Alice Wahome that if you want to have a contest, let the 2 teams enter the field first. We are not yet in that arena of 2022. When that time comes, we'll see who is our team and who is the captain, and you bring yours on board, and then we'll see the results in 2022. It's too early now to bring 2022 elections. The point I want to make is that ODM as a party itself should strengthen itself, look at the officials who are tasked with some of these things. Where we have made mistakes, let's own up. Let's stop this culture of some people thinking that they can claim better ownership to ODM than others. You know, there are small mamas within the party, even on the picking of leadership positions in the House. These are small problems, but that can break the cohesiveness of a party. So, and I think when these things happen, as a party, you need to retreat. Look at where the rain started beating you, and you correct things before it's too late. The underlying factor is that we need to pick the best candidates to get our party tickets for 2022 if we need to be strong competitors in 2022. About presidential election, what the Sunday Nation is saying and what my sister here is saying, I want to tell you, Dibal, that the ball game changes when you are now in the main election, where you have a presidential candidate, where the competition is about a person winning presidency and the members of parliament who are going to support his parliamentary agenda. This is not the right time to start saying that now Ruto has won. That will be a very misleading conclusion for Jubilee.
Deba, a little counsel for senior counsel is that he needs to know that ODM iko na wenyewe. He either should also learn to play ball or ship out. Shape up or ship out. Because eventually, wenye ODM wataanza kumpiga. The way he's being liberal minded, because that's how I used to be. I used to stand objective. ODM has got no room for objectivity. That's something he needs to know. And I'm giving him this for free. I don't want him to go the same route some of us have gone. But I want to concur with him in the respect that one thing that could have also cost ODM this seat was Karan himself as a person. How much, to what effect did he relate to the Ugenya people? And how was he elected as the ODM flag bearer this time round? You know, there are other candidates who wanted to run on ODM, but ODM decreed that no, our candidate is this one. You know? So obviously you already disenfranchised the others who were clearly, who could probably have performed better for ODM. But also, I think last week when Mheshimiwa former MP Midio was here, he was saying he's a good friend to David Ochieng, and his being associated with the DP was not right. But I think, as Mheshimiwa Alice Waume is saying, it's not us who are claiming, bringing about the association of the Ugenya candidate, the winner, with the DP. It was the ODM itself. It clearly, even Senator Orengo said this is a battle between Baba and DP. So it's an ODM creation. And again, one thing that for sure ODM perfects is propaganda. And this has been a track record over the years. Some of us have been thrown mad at all manner of accusations that you're supported by this, you're a traitor, even when they themselves really know. Maybe, again, one thing I'm hoping they're learning from this, that time for their propaganda is up so that they start playing clean politics. I think, finally, we need also to address the issue of Ugenya people showing confidence in the handshake. Many people from Nyanza I talk to, seem to have concerns. For me, a priority for the handshake should have been to deal with post-election victims. This is not happening. Compensating the Pendos and the others who were victims of the post-election violence. In as much as we have the handshake, please, let's address those priorities.
Thank you. But you mentioned propaganda. Do you mind in any way, or of course you can give us maybe a bit of an example of propaganda that from ODM that you're mentioning? What they've perfected the skill of propaganda. Which one?
There are many. I think Mheshimiwa Tuju and I have suffered. In fact, I wanted to say that, tell Mheshimiwa Umugeni, that if it's only an issue, and Mheshimiwa Senator Pogisio, if it's only a case of development, I think Mheshimiwa Tuju did quite a bit for the people of Rarieda. But because it was branded a mall, this and that, that didn't fly. Okay. So there are all manner of such.
Deval, I think if it's a matter of people being elected on their development record, I think what Dr. Shemo Chudha and...
Should we just give someone his chance? No.
Just a minute.
No. Let's go sequentially, please, so that we don't actually also have him frustrated on the panel today.
Yes. So thank you, Deval. And I think depending on how we handle this subject, it might be an indictment on a party and party leadership. We don't want to get into those wars. I mean, the media have covered it. You know, this is a battle which, if you know, even if you didn't see William Ruto in there, I'm sure he would like to hear that he's the one who won. And I'm sure wherever he must be chuckling, wherever he is. Now, and if we might throw that as a way of what you call a hand wrestling between the two. Let me just come to the issues that we must understand the Kenyan politics the way it is. Agreed that David Ochieng as a person had a record and had friends both parties. He had people both parties, and so non-interference may have helped him. But let's also come to the fact that in by-elections, as I was saying, factors are different. By-elections, people like to allow people to finish their terms easily. People are willing to support candidates not based necessarily on parties. But that's a by-election. The true test would now come at the end. Then we can now confirm whether ODM is suffering defeat or not. And as I've said, the only thing that I can say about ODM as a party is that it's one of the parties that has persistently remained a party. You know what I mean? You know, this is probably becoming one of the oldest parties in Kenya right now. The others are, you know, created every 5 years and lost every 5 years and changed, you know, the format and so on. But ODM has remained consistently, and I'm a supporter of parties sticking to the very end. I'd like to see Kenya where political parties stay. KANU is the oldest political party, continues to remain a party. ODM is the other one. Now even Wiper has actually maintained, and we should not be destroying those parties. We need to remain with a few strong parties in this country so that we can now remain as a politics of manifestos and programs and leadership that a party can support. And so I don't think we should really be comparing. Now Jubilee, which is a party I'm affiliated with, is a name that can change any time. There's no guarantee that Jubilee will be a party in the next 5 years. I mean, because see where we've come from. We came from URP, and your party was what?
TNA.
TNA. And those were parties for that time. And then Jubilee is a vehicle for this time. So we don't know about the future. And so let's commend parties that stay, that stay and form parties. Let this country be ruled by parties. So that way we can organize our politics better.
Okay, let's say from Halis Wahome, then we come to Jubilee Party and to see also how, the towing and throwing inside the Jubilee Party. All is not well.
Okay, I think you want me to maybe finalize by commenting on the issues that Kongo Mgeni has brought out. I think it's good to just be candid. We had said Ochieng was a good candidate, but you see the politics, the propaganda around campaigns messed for ODM in terms of the loss. Because they could have lost, yes, but you see they went shouting and making this a contest between William Ruto and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And it is not the people of, okay, you know, they are also quiet supporters and the other hand, you know, what do I say, backstreet movements and supporters of different candidates. But you see, when you know this thing was such a tight rope. In fact, in Ugenya, people knew it was a tight rope for for ODM. But you see, they shouted loudly. They wanted to. I don't know why they had to take the name of the deputy president on the ground, especially in Ugenya. They have learned a lesson, and I hope tomorrow they will not make the same mistake. And therefore, it is important when my brother here now says that we want to take the. If you have come out openly and said it's a contest between ABCD, so whichever then party wins, you know, the candidate, then the people will celebrate. So there was celebration, yes, in Jubilee. Maybe there are wins in Jubilee, but there was celebration for the loss, and of course because they are also, you know, interfering with the Jubilee as a party itself by some of the activities that they are coming up with. You know, they haven't yet learned, and I hope this is a good lesson. They have removed, through the same internal mechanisms that are not transparent, that are not accountable, they have removed Aisha Jumwa from their party. And, you know, there has been cause for them to revise the decision. I hope this provides them with good material for them to revise the case for Honorable Aisha Jumwa. You know, she's one of the only 23 women in parliament, and you can imagine the same kind of handling if they proceed with this matter in court. Maybe the tribunal will be their savior, and I hope they could also be magnanimous enough to go and say, let's withdraw this case against Aisha Jumwa, because they are preaching handshake, and you see, it really doesn't, it's not clear why. You know, the candidate like the one of the Embakasi was wearing a T-shirt with two logos, with two symbols of the parties. If you listen to the members of ODM, maybe my brother is not in the National Assembly. Let me speak about the National Assembly. They are clearly saying they are in government, they are the government, and that part of Jubilee people are outside government. You know, when they get that kind of confusion, by the time, and you then over the weekend, you saw big headlines where Dr. Oburu Odinga is saying that he's advising the party leader, their party leader, to actually exit and stop this partnership with Jubilee. I don't know why, because it means they are also not believing in the handshake, because the fact that there is corruption does not mean it is Jubilee corruption.
Thank you. Right, let's just listen into that particular, of course, a bite that was at the cost, and of course, the Deputy President took advantage of that to take a swipe at ODM. Just listen in.
Kama shida yenu ni kwamba Aisha anafanya kazi na mimi, Sasa mbona mnamwangaisha Asha? Mbona msipambane na mimi? Na mimi ndio tatizo yenu. Mimi nataka niwaambie mchana, Jubilee ni moja. Hakuna Jubilee ya Uhuru Kenyatta, hakuna Jubilee ya William Ruto. Jubilee ni moja. Sasa muamue, mutafanya kazi na Jubilee ama hamutaki kufanya kazi na Jubilee.
Right. Your reaction, Okongo Mogeni?
Yeah, I think we were here sometime and we discussed this matter of Aisha Juma with some panelists. And I don't know, I think the problem is actually William Ruto. I don't know why he's interfering with ODM, his internal affairs. I mean, Juma is not a member of Jubilee, that's a member of ODM. If ODM has disciplinary issues with Aisha Juma, let him leave ODM to handle this matter. And I want to read for you what was said by the ODM, by the Wiper.
That is on Sunday Nation?
That's on Sunday Nation, page 8.
Page 8?
In answer to this chest thumping by Jubilee and more so the DP. If you go to page 8, just go to page 8 of Sunday Nation.
Yes.
I think Judy Sijeni, the Secretary General of Wiper, if you go to the third column.
Yes, third column.
The third column there, the 1, 2, 3, the fourth paragraph.
Kindly pick. Yes.
She's trying to answer.
Okay, the situation.
She's trying to answer the DP there. And she said, we urge them not to provoke us by trying to reap where they did not sow. These may be understood in the context of life in the jungle, where a brave cheetah brings down an antelope, but just as he prepares to eat in peace, hyenas, vultures circle in for the meal, claiming it is their own. So that's the sentiments of, there it is.
We urge them not to provoke us by trying to reap where they did not sow. This may be understood in the context of life in the jungle, where a brave cheetah brings down an antelope, but just as he prepares to eat in peace, hyenas, vultures, and ravens circle in for the meal, claiming it as their own.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a case of sibling rivalry between Wiper and ODM. The contest was between Wiper and ODM. If there's anybody should be celebrating, it should be Kalonzo Musyoka. I don't see why the DP should be celebrating about a win which clearly is for Wiper, Kalonzo. And I started by saying that we as a coalition need to retreat and see how we can work together as a cohesive team. So, and I said together, I mean, united we stand, divided we fall. So this should not be a case of William Ruto trying to say this is a win for him. It is very clear that the Embakasi people have spoken. They have still said they are comfortable in NASA family. The only thing is that as ODM, we ought not to have fielded a candidate in Embakasi East. And we should leave it to rest there.
Right, thank you.
The thing about my good friend, Dr. Chodo and Tuju, I think now we should not have excuses. The people of Ugenya have demonstrated that if your track record speaks for you, they will not fear re-electing you. And we saw it even in South Nyanza. You know, Obado, the governor for Migori, who was vying for governorship in 2013. He sought ODM nomination. He lost. I think he defected to one of the coalitions of the NASA family. And he won the seat. So the people are giving message that what should concern Dr. Shemu Chodo is if he can demonstrate to the people that he had a good track record, they will re-elect you, whether you are in ODM or not. Those are classical cases of constituencies where people have looked at the caliber of the leaders who are seeking elective posts. And I want to say that's a very good development for democracy. And I don't think you should drag my name into the problems we have maybe had before with ODM, because me, I have no problems with ODM. And,
has he dragged your name?
Yeah, because he's trying to threaten me, saying that I'll face consequences.
For free. Consequences.
I'll face consequences. I mean, I don't know what sins he committed, but as far as I know, I think I belong to a party that is fairly liberal, fairly democratic. The Secretary General, I think not even the spokesman, Onyango, issued a statement yesterday, and he said, we as a party are going to retreat and do re-evaluation. That was there. So what is wrong? I'm just repeating the position of my party.
So Shem, what sin did you commit actually? Because also we have Wiper, we have CCM claiming that ODM, they're acting very arrogant. It's a big brother syndrome that, yeah. So there's an issue of arrogance within ODM.
One thing that I really wish as members of parliament inculcated, maybe one thing we could learn from the lawyers, is respect for the elders, those who have been before. I remember we used to respect, people like Mzee Achieng' Oneko, seniority, people like the late George Anyona and so on. We had a lot of respect for them. Unfortunately, members of these days perhaps don't have that same. The former members who visit parliament, I would say almost I never do, or I rarely do. I hardly do. I think we don't treat them with sufficient respect. My point I was making to Mheshimiwa Senior Counsel is that, look, knowing this party, it doesn't brood dissent or objectivity. If it's a party line, you're told to jump, you just ask how high. So if you want to survive long, that has been proven. And I've seen many people who I can mention. For a while they tell us this. Even Mheshimiwa Aisha Juma, before this happened to her, she would have told you how good ODM is until it strikes. So an early caution is not bad. But having said that, I think something else happened in the Ugenya, these by-elections. Could it be that separating presidential and parliamentary elections also had something to do with it? Maybe if it was combined, the euphoria that would have gone on with it probably would not have made it, the result, the same. I don't know. But also, I think I wanted to disagree with my senior, Mheshimiwa Pugisi, in one respect. When he says ODM is the oldest party, as far as I know, Jubilee is also a 10-year-old party, almost like ODM. ODM was formed, as far as I know, in 2007. Jubilee, well, no, I think when they first ran, they ran as, I think it was 2012. So, but again also, unless what Mheshimiwa means is personalities, I think the ODM leaders has been consistent from the time of NDP. From that was 1997. Mm-hmm. So over 20 years, yes, it's been a single pillar to that regard. But in terms of parties, it has been moved to, I think there are many. But again, also I would understand from Mheshimiwa, being a KANU member is trying to warm up very well. This party is warming up to ODM, which is understandable. But I think institutionalizing party politics is important. Allowing internal party democracy is equally important. Just as, for me, what I would advocate for, the role of money in campaigns is something that I want to encourage, particularly the sitting members of parliament, that let's pay attention to this. Today, we may be beneficiaries, but tomorrow we'll be victims. People forget very fast, but let's cap campaign finance so that any good leader, whether they have money or not, would have equal chances of being elected, which currently is not the case. For me, actually, this where, in terms of reforms, this where my greatest focus would be.
All right. Okay, let's hear from Pogisio.
I've always stood for this thing that political parties should be allowed to organize themselves. And internal matters of political parties should be left to those political parties, as long as they're within the political parties' act. And they're not going overboard. Let's allow that. In fact, the contradiction with the deputy president there is talking about an MP from another party, and I think he should just quit that. He should find his way of getting himself into Malindi or into those places, Kilifi, without having to support what happened to political parties. It's not a fight against him. It is just that the internal politics of the party. I'm in KANU, and if KANU decides to discipline me, I should be left to be disciplined by KANU. Because this is very wrong for me if I were, for example, to be openly campaigning for a candidate who is not KANU. KANU has a right to remove me. And I think that is something that we should be realistic about. The other one, which I agree with Alice Wahome, is on this campaign for Ugenya. I think that the people who campaigned for ODM that clip which they keep showing about Malala and Orengo, and that was a blunder campaign. That's a blunder part of the campaign, and I think they spoke things that maybe exposed them too much. I don't know how much money Jubilee was carrying that day, but it was said publicly that they were carrying tons of money. Now, could that money have influenced elections? Maybe they could have, and I thought so. I agree with Alice in terms of that particular campaign. I also agree with Shem when it says that we must work on either capping or making sure money does not necessarily influence elections. Otherwise, we'll start having leaders who are not necessarily liked by the people, but because they carry money. So we need to be thinking about all these things in terms of where do we go next. We're talking mostly about having to change the system, presidential or parliamentary. But even with that, a person with money can determine in advance who is going to be an MP, who is going to be a senator. And I think that's not a good democracy for us.
All right.
Can you give me a second point? Just on this particular question of Dibar, because you see, you have given them a lot of time on this particular issue of the candidates. Here, there was a clip that you pulled out on page 8, where you were reading about the response by the Secretary General of WIPA to the Deputy President over the weekend. But also, he selectively read that one. He should have gone to Quorum 2, where it is said that on January 29, MPs added to Mr. Ruto, Moses Kuria, Jaguar, Deuri, Simon Bogwa, and there is a whole host of several MPs came out publicly, and they actually said they would be supporting. The Jubilee has no candidate, and they will be supporting the Julius Mawathe as a Wiper candidate. At that particular moment, Judith Sijeni did not come out, neither Karonzo came out to say, we don't want any support. So this is hypocrisy. This is actually dishonesty on the part of the Secretary General of WIPA. She's, of course, not remembering that tomorrow there may be another case that they require the support of Jubilee. She's also trying to say that Mr. Ruto should have actually fielded a candidate under URP. May I remind her that Jubilee is URP, TNA, and other affiliates. Correct. This is actually insulting the hand that has helped you. And I think this is the script they are trying to preach, that there is a Jubilee of Mr. Ruto or His Excellency the Deputy President, and a Jubilee of Uhuru Kenyatta. Jubilee said we are going to support their candidate, and His Excellency the Deputy President. But looking at page 5, Sohome, Jubilee leaders trade barbs on graph to go. Isn't that also showcasing that truly there is a Jubilee of Mr. Ruto and there is a Jubilee of President Uhuru Kenyatta? You see, this is a creation. This is a narrative of those people who are actually fighting, who want a division, who wants to have some space within Jubilee. This is a creation. If you look at page 5, you know, there is those people who are coming with Tanga-Tanga. Isn't it a fact that there is Jubilee Tanga-Tanga and there is Jubilee Kieleweke? First, let's just begin from there. Isn't it a fact? We have one party. No. My question is, as it is, yes, we know, but you have one party. But within that one party, there are two houses, Kieleweke and Tanga-Tanga. What houses are you talking about? Isn't that a fact? You know, there are people. There are people working differently in terms of what they believe in and what they are doing. But that doesn't mean Jubilee as a party that it is divided. I just want you to tell me, is there any Jubilee Tanga-Tanga and Jubilee Kieleweke? People, I don't know which Jubilee Tanga-Tanga or Kieleweke I am in, but what we are saying is, these are names. These are names that people are coming up with. Because tomorrow, if His Excellency the President has an activity in Kardara, Muranga, or any other place, and I have a role to play, or I am invited or expected to be in that place, will I now then shift, for example, from Tanga-Tanga, then I will become Jubilee Kieleweke? You will find us with the Uhuru Kenyatta. You will find us with His Excellency the President, and any other. Maybe I should pose this question to. So these things. Maybe it's good to hear from Senator Pogisio. Is there Jubilee Tanga-Tanga and Jubilee Kieleweke according to your understanding? Alice certainly denies that there is. No. I think you can.
Even Alice knows that. and in previous statements, right here, Alice has indicated the teams that go on Sundays. There are two different teams.
Yes.
And she knows that, so we don't have to.
At least you do know.
We work, I may not be able to work well with my brother, even if he's in Jubilee, but I may be able to work with another sister and a brother within Jubilee. And
But
maybe that is what is happening.
Look here, page 5 of Daily Nation. Let me try and just head over there. I think my touch screen is failing me. Today's paper, Daily Nation. Page 5, so this is, you say, the creation of who? Tanga, and you're the people. We pick from what actually happens within the party.
This word Tanga came from His Excellency the President himself. But I don't think he was meaning that he's dividing his party. So if we now sit here and start legitimizing funny groups that actually, may not even be our narrative or our agenda, then we are destroying the party.
Yeah, there we go. It says that Jubilee leaders tread barbs on graft war. Yeah. It says, and we have that the Ngujiri Wambugu-led Kieleweke movement declared a political war on its Tanga rival.
Kieleweke is the person we call Kieleweke.
If you read from the top.
No. I just want to pick up on this because
the
you don't have the
person we call Kieleweke within Jubilee is Ngujiri Wambugu. Ngujiri Wambugu's background and origin is ODM. So he's actually safely back and trying to divide Jubilee and create space.
So are you trying to insinuate that Ngujiri is actually a mole from ODM who has been sent to Jubilee?
He's working so hard to have a team that he's leading.
He's not alone.
And they are preaching division.
Dibal, let's not allow distortion of facts as they are. This team is not just about Maina Commander. If you read even the Star, page 5, I want to read the names for you.
Which one? Today's?
Today's. These are elected, the people. Just listen who they were. They included Masika Kuya. That's somebody elected from, that's member of parliament for Kasarani. Gladwell Cheriot, women rep Baringo. Wangari Mwaniki, elected women rep from Kigumo. Samuel Arama, elected member of parliament, Nakuru East. Muturi Kigano, Kangema, Beatrice Adagala. Kutunyi was elected on Jubilee. So, Mudoni Mushamba, Kiambu women rep.
I can analyze.
What I want to emphasize? No, it's not about Duval. Let's remind Alice Wahome that the way she was elected for Kandara is the way these other people also elected from their respective constituents. And the fact is they were elected on a Jubilee ticket. But they have an agenda. They are saying they are Jubilee Kieleweke. And for the first time, you have a team that is issue-based. All they are saying is that they don't want to entertain corruption within government. That's what Kieleweke is all about. They are actually saying we are going to arrest the corrupt in a week. If the DPP...
So they have become the DPP,
no,
the DCI.
What I'm saying...
Fact, by that particular statement...
Can I be given room?
Okay, let him finish. Let him finish, Alice.
Protect me. So, what we need to see is that this Jubilee House has two teams. And one team says, we don't entertain corruption. The other team says, as we are a team Tanga, don't ask us questions. In fact, they are saying, we don't mind even if there is impunity within us. This is the team that has been attacking the DCI. This is the team that has been attacking DPP. This is the team that has been introducing ethnicity in the war against corruption. That is the one coalition. The other coalition is very progressive. It has got men and women who say, as we want to eradicate this vice called corruption in society. And they have taken this message to the people. Yesterday they were in Nyeri. That's another Jubilee. So my good friend Alice Wahome.
And Nyeri, you're accusing...
Alice Wahome should not say this is about Wambugu.
I think, no.
The thing is...
Mashomba was accusing the Nyeri team of abandoning Mount Kenya region. Yeah? This is just...
Nyeri team, the Nyeri team is themselves then.
Yes, I'm talking about Gadoni wa Mashomba accusing the team in Nyeri of abandoning the Mount Kenya. The team Kieleweke group said it is on the president's side with Kiambu women representative Gadoni wa Mashomba saying the team in Nyeri is abandoning Mount Kenya.
Dibal.
So
from
my
the
question
statement
is,
and the way Okongo has defended Team Kieleweke, because he has now said it's Team Kieleweke. What I want us to be clear at is the Jubilee is led by His Excellency the President and his deputy, the party leader, deputy, is William Ruto. Now, these are outfits. These are not, these are outfits that are trying to make themselves relevant. In fact, from the statements of my brother here, the ownership and the owners of Kieleweke is very clear. You know, he seems to know the agenda. In fact, he has also said that one of the agenda is actually to fight corruption. Over the weekend, they gave DCI an ultimatum. Who the hell are they to give the DCI an ultimatum to arrest? This is political interference, and in fact, I believe right now, even assuming there were some arrests that were pending, the DCI will maybe strategically want to withdraw because he does not want to be seen to be working at the behest of some of these kind of people, because his work will look like he's working for some small groups somewhere. They have gone round, it is true, with their outfit. They are pretenders to the party, to the fight against corruption. And if you analyze some of them, you'll be surprised who they are working for.
Right. Let's hear from Dr. Shem.
The BAL, two things. One, I think we should not personalize. When we start talking about Mheshimiwa, the Nyeri MP and others, Mheshimiwa Kamanda and all, I think we should depersonalize politics. Secondly, for me, a problem that we have as a country is that we've lost on, and this appears in Vision 2030. It anticipated that by a certain time we would be having issues-based politics and political parties. Clearly, it seems all we still have is personality-based, which is something that I think we need to work hard on. Part of why I say this is there can be no denying there is a problem in the Jubilee House, like there is perhaps in the NASA House. But we do not need to be labor to deny what's a fact. As to whether it's a smokescreen or it's genuine division, maybe that's what is in contention. But having said that, Mheshimiwa pointed out that let's allow ODM to deal with issues of Aisha Juma. But in the same token, we forget Senator Malala. Why don't we also allow ANC to deal with issues of ANC? Because so it's like we forget when it's me, it's okay. When it's you, it's not okay. I think double speak is an issue that worries me. But also the BAL, I was referring to page 8 on before we left. Mheshimiwa Alice was reminding us that same page 8 on Nation, Sunday Nation. Actually, just a little below where the party director of communications was being mentioned, he says, through is a paragraph, the third column. Again, I think it's the 5th paragraph. Through the spokesperson, the ODM leader said, Mr. Ruto had nothing to do with the mini polls results. The point one may ask, why was this not said during the campaigns so that it was clear when one side of ODM was saying this is all DP versus. So clearly this comes after the loss. So I think this again, the double speak, which is not right. So all in all, for me, the BAL, and I was hoping we'd spend a little time on the State of the Nation address. I think when we have Team Tangatanga and Kieleweke going around the country, for me, they are not addressing the key issues. Kenyans are suffering economically and financially. Most Kenyans I talk to, they are suffering. But we are not addressing those issues. What we address at these rallies, for me, whether it's Tangatanga or Kieleweke, is different.
Thank you. Hold up. Let's just see what we have on social media as well. What are people saying? We have some saying, although there is a strong correlation between an individual's ideology and a party of choice, Kenyans today holds strong opinions on integrity issues that don't fit parties neatly. Everyone should be eligible based on merits rather than as a member of a party. Also, we do have Samuel Oruto saying, what we're experiencing today in Kenya is cheap politics, politics of character assassination to demean each other, but not constructive politics to take the nation forward. In democracy and development, let citizens not be divided, elect leaders, not tribe. Also, we have, this is Ephraim Gugi saying that someone, please tell Alice Wahome akiendelea kutangatanga bila kufikiria ataenda penye anastahili, that is home. Anasema wa home in other news, right? That is who is this? Ephraim Ngugi there. We have Shedrack also. The people of Ugenya have had their say. It's a step taken when the will of the people prevail. Bravo. Also, Jack Ogola saying Honorable Chuodo seems to forget the fact that he is already in a hole and therefore should stop digging deeper into more troubles, politically speaking. Let his development record earn him a seat in parliament, just like Honorable Ocheng in Ugenya. This is what Jack Ogola thinks. Also, Jacob Abere Mtalala say, indeed, these two constituencies gave case study for democracy and governance institutes to give findings on vote or voter choice. Kennedy Omogi, the caliber of leaders have fallen because of imaginary politics. Let's elect individuals, not parties. We have Thomas Lwangu saying, whether we want to accept it or not, politics is about perception. ODM played it into the hands of Ruto. Much as the win was a win for democracy, you can't disregard the significance of such protest against a predominant party on its stronghold. And they go on still Ali's okay, Samuel Ruto thinks Alice Wahome is misleading us. The problem we have now is a war of fighting ethnicity. Our politics has gotten ethnic, and Jubilee by Uhuru and ODM by Raila is what is eating into Raila losing, but his cause is uniting with Uhuru is noble idea worthy, right? This is what Samuel Ruto is thinking. You want to comment on this?
Well,
Shemo Choda, give you a chance also.
I think you pointed out my name twice, and I think people have the right to their own opinions.
Yes.
But when we come to the ground, it is me and my people in Kandara, and they have put me the second time, and I have the right to actually express even my political affiliation. And you see, that's the good thing about democracy. But when there is somebody also there saying that that I'm misleading because possibly there is ethnicity. Everybody knows that this country has a problem of ethnicity. And in fact, some of the political outfits and political parties thrive on that. But you see, when as Jubilee, we crafted Jubilee, and somebody was asking why, in fact, we killed TNA and URP. I think the attempt by His Excellency the President and his deputy in 2013, coming up to all the way to 2017, and bringing many affiliates together, and the number of MPs that we got was a good foundation of actually dealing and starting to tackle ethnicity as a factor during the campaigns, during the electioneering period. And even the handshake, if it is properly managed and well crafted, including everybody from the beginning, for now it appears it is two people. And therefore it will not cure the problem that possibly His Excellency wanted, to unite the country so that we are speaking as a nation, not as regions, not as groups, not as tribes. And therefore, I don't think I have gone against that myself. Mm-hmm. And I would really want to see a country that has stronger political parties. I am a believer in internal party democracy. Dibal have suffered 2 losses, 2 elections because of, of those shenanigans within political parties. That is 2002. And I also suffered 2007. Indeed, I also suffered a big blow because the courts, when I went to approach the court for my hearing of my petition, another problem arose there. So what I'm saying, even by the time I came to be elected, I have seen all this. I had seen all these, issues occurring.
Dr. Shemo
Choda. A gentleman, I think Mr. Ogola, mentioned an issue there. Mheshimiwa, I think it was Alice, did say when David Ochieng was asked, aren't you going to walk very dangerous ground when you go to another party? He said, well, if that's what's going to make me lose my seat, I'll be happy. So the moment he's talking about being in a hole, it probably depends on what he means. If he means being out of parliament, then he's probably right. There are many people I've met who've said, oh no, why don't you just calm down like your friend Orengo and Nyong'o did and salute and so on and so forth. I keep telling them that it depends on the purpose you have in life. Okay? What do you stand for? And again, my problems with ODM are not personal. It's only that we disagree on issues. So to that extent, again, okay, my friend Jim went back, he got elected, he's been playing his game, but look at the humiliation now in Ugenya. I wouldn't be proud for being him at this particular moment. So sometimes truth doesn't decay. It's always good to stand for the truth. So my advice to Bwana Ogola is that it all depends what you consider to be a whole. I like to be, and as a Christian, I like to be on the side of truth and objectivity. And I think this is what I was hoping the handshake would give us, the Kenya where people are judged on the basis of their character and ability and competency rather than on other considerations, particularly not so much on the basis of ethnicity, which I think, even though it was one of the 9-point agenda in the handshake, hasn't been sufficiently addressed. And let me say again, coming from Nyanza, even though we have the handshake, I know media, sections of the media have reported people in Nyanza are benefiting, Luo Nyanza to be precise, from the handshake. These things have yet to trickle down to the people. We have been marginalized for so long that what we are seeing is, in my view, still window dressing. A lot more needs to be done in terms of vanquishing the ethnicity and the exclusion that we have witnessed over the years.
Okay. Let's say from Pogisio, even as we're preparing our headline thoughts as well.
If you look at the cartoon, not the cartoon, the caricature on page 31 of the Sunday Nation about my governor.
About your governor?
About
my system is failing governor.
Me. I hope you can find that, Sunday Nation.
I'll try.
On page 31.
Just continue as I try and lift it up.
There is whatever, there's some statements that he made, and so it's gone viral, and everybody's talking about that on page 31. But before I get to that, Duval, not to forget to pay our condolences to the family of Evelyn, the lady with the quintuplets who passed on. And Duval, you know, and I look at the member for Garsen in one section of the media asking women to have more children. Is ordering women to have more children. I think we should also look at the dangers that go with that kind of demand. If we are not ready, if we don't have enough facilities, don't please encourage women in that respect. And I think that one of the problems we suffer is medical facilities. There you go. You know, it says Lonyangapu, maths professor with an acid tongue, that Makutano is Makutano, by the way, is our town. That is Kapenguria itself. That's our town. And the story is very long about this thing called Mulmulwas, describing a young man called Dennis Kapchok and saying he's round and no one can tell the back from the tummy.
He's been here on NTV.
So the term, the Pokot word Mulmulwas, which is describing as that, is a case. I congratulate the governor for making it to this page.
All right, your closing remarks.
Thank you. Yes. We have arrived, I think, at the position where we need to question a few things, Diba. One is money in politics, which we have seen over this weekend. Number two is early campaigns for presidential elections, and so on. We must be extremely careful, and I've spoken about this here. I've said that, and then of course corruption is always our subject. I've always said that politics wants to run corruption out of, the corruption debate out, so that it replaces our quest for questions, for the fight against corruption. So everybody wants to make it political. It is not politics. We must fight corruption separate from politics.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Shamachogo, your closing remarks?
One is to congratulate Hilary Mutiambe for having been sworn in as police boss. Secondly, on the one hand, to compliment President for wisdom, the balancing act during his State of the Nation address. But at the same time, to say that, and I've repeatedly said this, that the way to get corruption out of the Kenyan system would require more than what grandstanding that we are seeing. We need to have honest conversation, and the aspect of what the religious leaders have said, that let's give people a period, those who have taken money from the state, to return that money, have a period during which that kind of action can be done, and
Thank you.
thereafter, because
Thank you.
any other
Thank you.
method doesn't seem to work.
Right, thank you. And of course, he will be sworn in today. He's not yet been sworn in. He was just vetted by Parliament and, of course, approved unanimously. Let's hear from Okongo Mogini.
Mine, I think, is to applaud the president's speech on Thursday, and just to encourage him. He did make a very firm statement that the two principals are now going to receive the reports from the Building Bridges Initiative team. And I think whatever the Kenyan people have spoken, whatever they have told this team, let's stand behind the president and Raila Amolo Odinga so that we can together build a cohesive, united Kenya going forward.
Right, thank you. Lastly, Alice Wahome.
Yeah, I think I also want to commend the president for his speech. But I need to add that looking at the major statement for me for the day was the fact that he will continue to lead his government into the fight against corruption, but he also cautioned the country and those, political witch hunters that he will not agree to apply vigilantism in the fight against corruption. I think that sends very strong messages for those people who over the weekend were demanding that DCI, they are begging for some blood over the weekend, DCI to take people to court. You cannot direct the DCI as to what to do.
Thank you.
But finally, Dibal, I want to express my condolences to the family of Namkula, who lost her life. I think yesterday. It's unfortunate because when you look at the page 1 of the Daily Nation, this mother was able to deliver 5 babies.
Yes.
And she survived, and she has a smile on her face. And I think when she was taken to a referral hospital, it is time that we actually audited our hospitals, take a serious look at the facilities that are there. We shouldn't lose this kind of a mother. Indeed, there are many mothers being lost because of complications.
Thank you.
But the Minister for Health, Cicely Kariuki, owes the country an explanation. Many things go, unattended to, but I think she owes the country an explanation.
Thank you very much. And of course, that is what is on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Joy short-lived as mother of quintuplets. 2 infants die, and you can see her picture there. That is Evelyn Namulhula, who delivered quintuplets on March the 10th at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospitals in Eldoret, where she died yesterday. She had earlier lost 2 of the infants. Doctors say the remaining 3 babies are in good health. And of course, we want to wish the family our deepest sympathy and sincere condolences as well here from NTV. And I want to thank our panelists also this morning for this cogent, discussion we've had this morning. We really do appreciate all your involvement today as well. And for you also on getting to drive a show with us, also on your contribution on social media, we really do appreciate. Let the conversation continue on social media as well.